do Atlantic City's finances impact the entire county? I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me is Mayor Chuck Schirillo of Buena Vista Township. Thanks so much for being with us.
It's a pleasure.
When we talk about concerns related to Atlantic City, obviously there are job losses that impacts communities throughout the county, but what about the overall finances of Atlantic City? How does that impact the county and communities like yours?
Well, all 23 towns in Atlantic County, including Atlantic City, are in the same boat together. If Atlantic City casinos are closing, ratables are lost. If casinos are appealing their taxes and they win, ratables are lost. And that kind of plays some pretty dramatic games with the county budget. And then that impacts every town in the county. So it's a big concern. It's been going on for a few years now. And some of the directions are frankly scaring me because there is talk in the air of a state takeover of Atlantic City, and they've already had like a state auditor type person in Atlantic City for quite a while. And now the bill that was supposed to be very helpful to the city, called the pilot bill.
And the pilot bill is a payment in lieu of taxes bill.
That's right, and it would have guaranteed income from the casinos that are still remaining for the next 15 years.
And the guaranteed income in that the casinos would have to pay a fixed amount on an annual basis, and that could potentially help with tax appeals?
It would hopefully remove most of the tax appeals and would also give the county a chance to know what revenues would be available from Atlantic City, which allows them to strike a fair bill for everybody else.
That bill has been vetoed, so the pilot program won't happen for Atlantic City?
Right. The bill was vetoed after almost a year's worth of waiting through the legislature. And then they made the changes on the governor's veto, and then it went back to the governor, and the governor didn't sign it. So right now, Atlantic City doesn't have the benefit of the pilot bill, and the possibilities are of the state takeover. And some of the articles and all I've read on it say by April, the city will be out of money. And I feel bad because I grew up in Atlantic City. In addition to being the mayor in Buena Vista Township, my family was in business there for 25 years, and I've seen ups and downs. But I know Mayor Guardian and the current administration is trying very, very hard to work with a three-ring circus.
As you mentioned, there's the potential for a state takeover in Atlantic City. There's a bill pending related to that. Could that potentially be a benefit to Atlantic City if there is an outside entity as part of a takeover?
Well, I haven't seen enough to make it clear to me that it's going to be a benefit. I do know they want to sell some of the assets of Atlantic City, the MUA, the Utilities Authority, and the Boardwalk Hall. And, they may be good suggestions, but I'm not sure what revenue that's going to help the city stabilize with. That's the big thing. It's a big question mark. And I've talked about it with you before that I don't think enough input has been gathered from the county, from the mayors, and have enough input in this process. Seems like a lot of decisions are getting made in Trenton without us.
With that, though, is that something that you take into consideration as you work on a budget for your community? Do you have to think about what's happening in Atlantic City or what could potentially happen in Atlantic City as part of the overall county and the impact on your local budget?
Well, to a great extent, we sure have to monitor it. We have to look out after ourselves as a small town. And we know that 17% of the tax bill stays from our local government, but that means that 83% of it is affected from the county or the school districts or fire districts. And so we try to do a budget that keeps improving our community, but we can't lose sight of what else is going on in the county.
Thanks for being with us.
Pleasure.
We've been talking with Mayor Chuck Schirillo of Buena Vista Township. I'm Jill Horner.